March 3rd, 2024, Caitlin Clark stood before a packed crowd and made the most crucial free throw of her career. With that shot, she shattered Pistol Pete Maravich's 54-year-old scoring record to become the top scorer in both men's and women's NCAA basketball history. But the big question is if this incredible achievement makes her the ultimate all-time leading college scorer of all time. Now, Pistol Pete's all-time scoring mark was one of the more remarkable in sports history. He played in an era without a shot clock or three-point line, yet he averaged 44.2 points per game and scored over 60 points 4 times. Even though Pistol Pete passed away in 1988 at just 40 years old, many believed his record would stand forever. However, Caitlin Clark came onto the scene and things changed. Known for her incredible shooting from deep and her clever playmaking, Clark emerged as one of the most celebrated figures in college sports. After she burst onto the national scene last year with her spectacular performances during March Madness, leading the Iowa Hawkeyes to the national championship game. Although they lost to the LSU Tigers, Clark's reputation only grew. Her popularity soared both on and off the court, resulting in a frenzy of anticipation as she neared Pistol Pete's record. This excitement reached its peak when ticket sales for the game against Ohio State broke all records, becoming the highest ever for any women's basketball game, whether college or professional. Even after breaking Pistol Pete's legendary NCAA scoring record of 3,667 points, Caitlin Clark didn't just stop there. She pushed her game to even higher levels, shattering several more records before her college career ended. She set records for the highest scoring average, the most three-pointers in a season, and the most three-pointers in a career. She also won the most national scoring titles. The list goes on and on. Most impressively, she wrapped up her college days with a whopping 3,951 career points. But as phenomenal as Clark's achievements are, they don't place her at the very top of all-time college basketball scorers. In fact, there's another player in women's college basketball who has scored more career points than Caitlin Clark. Now, Caitlin Clark's achievement in setting the new NCAA scoring record comes with a bit of backstory that not all fans may be aware of. When most media outlets reported on her breaking the record, they specifically mentioned it as the highest score in the NCAA Division I competition. They made this distinction because the NCAA isn't the only organization that has governed college sports. So the truth is, long before Caitlin Clark was hitting three-pointers or signing autographs, Pearl Moore had already set a remarkable scoring standard in women's basketball, a record that has held strong for 45 years. Pearl's journey to becoming the greatest scorer in women's college basketball began during a time when women were rarely encouraged to pursue sports. Growing up in a large family of 11 children, there was always a game to join. And for Pearl, basketball was the clear favorite. She loved the sound of the ball swishing through the hoop. Despite her dominance on the basketball courts during her high school career, Pearl received scholarship offers from only 2 colleges, one in Louisiana and another in Michigan. This limited interest didn't deter her. It was just the beginning of her path to setting a monumental scoring record in women's college basketball. That said, Pearl Moore began her college career at Anderson Junior College, a regional basketball powerhouse, where she impressively scored 177 points in just 8 games. However, Moore was miserable there. She found herself driving over 3 hours home every weekend. And it wasn't long before she returned to the Florence area to play for Francis Marion under coach Sylvia Hatchell. In those days, women's basketball was mainly governed by the Association for Intercollegiate Athletics for Women, which lasted until 1982, and Francis Marion was considered a smaller school. In her Francis Marion uniform, Moore played like she was years ahead of her time. She had a smooth, effortless jumper that allowed her to sink shots from a distance, and when defenders pressed up on her, she could easily blow past them. If matched against a smaller defender, Moore was just as comfortable backing down in the post, schooling her opponents with her versatile play. Even without a three-point line, she found creative ways to rack up 3 points regularly, making her a standout player in an era that was just beginning to recognize women's basketball talent. By the time she graduated, Pearl Moore had set a monumental record for the Association for Intercollegiate Athletics for Women, particularly among small schools, by scoring 4,061 points. Throughout her college career, she had 3 games where she scored over 50 points, including an incredible 60-point performance. Averaging 30.6 points per game, Moore scored more than 1,000 points in 3 of her 4 seasons, all without the benefit of a three-point line. Additionally, women's basketball during her time used the same size ball as men's games, not the smaller version used today. And it is often said that if Moore had been able to shoot with a three-point line, it's estimated she could have added up to 400 more points to her career total. As her time at Francis Marion came to a close, Moore received several offers to join the newly formed Women's Pro Basketball League, WBL. She played for the New York Stars during the 1979 season, where her outstanding performance led the team to a championship in their first year, despite playing in front of sparse crowds at the Felt Forum in Madison Square Garden. The following season, she played for the St. Louis Streak, before the league unfortunately folded in 1981. After the WBL's closure, Moore spent a season playing basketball in Venezuela, where she also won a league championship. In 1982, she returned to her hometown, shifting her focus to nurturing future talents by conducting youth basketball camps and working for the Postal Service. Her legendary contributions to basketball were recognized with her induction into the Francis Marion Athletic Hall of Fame in 1992, the Women's Basketball Hall of Fame in 2011, and the Naismith Memorial Basketball Hall of Fame in 2021. Despite her incredible achievements, Pearl Moore is often overlooked in discussions about the greatest women's basketball players, particularly those before the WNBA era. Unlike Cheryl Miller, Nancy Lieberman, or Ann Myers, Moore isn't regularly celebrated as a top figure. Her legacy is mostly remembered as that of a player from Francis Marion, a small university in her hometown of Florence, South Carolina, who scored an astonishing 4,061 collegiate points from 1975 to 1979. At that time, the NCAA had not yet introduced a women's basketball tournament. The Association for Intercollegiate Athletics for Women was the primary governing body for women's sports throughout the 1970s. Today, much attention is given to Caitlin Clark, who has amassed 3,951 career points in college, an impressive feat in itself. However, it's worth reflecting on Moore's accomplishments, scoring over 4,000 points without the benefit of a three-point line or the modern advancements in the game. Her ability to consistently perform at such a high level, scoring 4,061 points, remains unparalleled, and it's doubtful any woman will ever surpass this record. So, while Caitlin Clark has achieved great things, she hasn't quite surpassed Pearl Moore, the 5'7" guard who set a record before the introduction of the shot clock, the three-point line, and before the NCAA-sponsored Women's Basketball Championship. Moore's record still stands as one of the ultimate benchmarks in women's hoops. Do you think Caitlin Clark's record, or even Pearl Moore's incredible scoring record, will ever be broken? Let me know your thoughts in the comments section below. And as always, if you enjoyed this video, please drop a like and smash that subscribe button for more.